welcome today. Today our topic is about Girls Talk on purity. What is purity? Okay, purity means being free from any contaminated or anything that is pollution in general way, okay? But purity in God means keeping your soul free from evil or anything that is contaminated or polluted, okay? So that you keep your soul away from anything that drags you to sexual desire, keeping yourself pure, okay? I'm going to talk and I'm going to share with y'all 7 points to help you stay sexually pure before marriage and in your marriage. So the first point I'm going to talk to y'all is purity before marriage. My first point, watch what you watch. You must be careful on what you're watching. Anything that you watch online or in TV that can attract you to watch sexual desires by spending too much of time watching the wrong things. Be mindful of what you're watching and what you're spending your time more on and what you're thinking about. In the Bible, in Philippians 4 verse 8, it says, "And now, dear brother and sisters, one final thing, fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely, that are excellent and worthy of praise." The battle in the physical is often won first in your mind. Choose to think godly thoughts and watch godly things online and on TV. It will make you fight your temptations much easier. Okay, my second point, find a mentor. Find someone who you can respect and already make the journey with, like you're close to somebody, very close to somebody. Make that person your mentor. Because someone like maybe your youth leader that you're close with, or your friend, or even can be your sibling that you're close with, you can find them and use them as your mentor. You can share with them things. See if you can apply this in your life. As it says in Proverbs 13 verse 20, "Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble." So when you have a mentor, you won't go anywhere wrong. You can always turn to them. You can always go to them. You can always seek wisdom from them. You can always, sometimes you feel that your thoughts are wandering here and there and thinking something badly. But if you have a mentor, that mentor can lead you, so you will not go wrong. My third point is walk away. What I mean walk away means is like, if now you're in a relationship with someone, okay, and things started to get heat up when you're with them, maybe somewhere lonely with them, maybe somewhere in your room you're with them lonely, you're talking about things, planning for your marriage, and suddenly things get heated up. Don't be afraid. Just go away far. You know something wrong is going to happen. You know things are getting heated up. You know your feelings is, it's like ocean, like wave, that you're going to, go into something wrong, or your mind going somewhere wrong. You can immediately walk away from the situation. Be bold, stand up, and walk to the other side and leave that room immediately. In 2 Timothy chapter 2 verses 22, it says, "Run away from anything that stimulates youthful lust. Instead pursue righteousness, living, faithfulness, love, and peace. Enjoy the companionship of those who call on the Lord with pure heart." Don't be afraid. to put on the brakes. You know, when you feel something is wrong, immediately put the brake. Stop. And walk away. You're in control of your body. Don't give away your body easily to anyone. Okay? Especially those who are going to get married. Maybe you have maybe a month away, but remember, keep yourself pure. If you want to stay pure, you have to make the decisions to walk away from situations that will heat up. Okay, so you have to immediately put the brake. Put the brake on. Just put the brake on. Okay, my fourth point. Stay accountable. Having good friends is something good, so that you can be accountable to them, and they are aware of where you're going, what you're doing. So you know, they know that you are going the right path or you're going the wrong path. They can advise you, but make sure choose wise friends, because you are important to them. Anything happens, they know what to do, and they know what to protect you with. You need someone to help you challenge to stay strong when you're feeling weak. So your friends are there. You can turn to them. You can turn to your youth leader. You can turn to your siblings. You know, sometimes temptations can bring us down. You feel weak. You cannot control yourself. Your friends are there. They can advise you good things, but make sure it's right friends. Battles are not fought alone. So you need friends. Sometimes when you feel weak, your friends are there. You can have the challenge with your friends. They can help you to fight these battles, and you're not alone. So every time you need to have someone that you are accountable with. It can be even your parents. Nowadays youths, they're scared to share things with their parents, but I advise you, your parents are your best person to be accountable with. They can guide you and they can lead you to. Okay, my fifth point. When you are in a relationship, okay, when you're in a relationship, you're committed to that person, you might, maybe in a week or even 2 weeks time, you can, already going to your marriage life, you're going to get married. Sexual temptations are very high. The desire that you have, I already registered a reward, but you're not married yet to the person in the church. So you have to keep yourself pure. Though it doesn't mean that you have the green light to go ahead and do anything that is wrong, especially when it involves with your purity. In 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14, it says, "Don't team up with those who are unbelievers. How can righteousness be a partner with wickedness? How can light live with darkness?" What I mean in this verse is that you can't expect to stay sexually pure and have a relationship with someone who doesn't have the same value. It doesn't work like that. You have to find someone who can share the same value. Be with someone who's committed to staying sexually pure as you are. Sometimes when your partner, maybe he has the sexual desire to attract you, but you don't have. So you can walk away from that. You can tell that your partner, it's not the right time. Let's wait after we get married, officially in church. Then we can live together as husband and wife. Okay? My sixth point. Always have a reminder. Keep clean until the date of your marriage. That's what I mean earlier in my fifth point. Keep reminding each other of your commitment to stay pure and remain pure together. Remind. You can maybe have a reminder. When suddenly things get heated up, you want to be together with your partner. We already registered what? We already registered what? It's okay, we already officially husband and wife, but not yet till your marriage day in the church. So you can remind each other, no, This is not the time yet. No. If your partner say yes and you say no, remind your partner. We need to stay pure. We need to stay clean. Keep reminding each another. Alright? My 7th point. Keep it casual. Don't take your relationship too seriously. Anything can happen anytime. It doesn't mean once you're engaged or your family has known about both of your relationship, you have put in the social media, we are in a relationship, and you find it like it's too easy. Like anyhow we are going to get married anyway. It's okay what if we go for this, we be together, claim ourselves as husband and wife, but not yet husband and wife. So keep clean till then. Don't act like as though you're already married. Don't act like that. That is not the right way. Okay? Get to know the person more better, and don't jump into conclusion. Don't jump into the situation. Don't take things lightly in your relationship. Just pray together, that things flow on smoothly till your marriage day. What is so in a rush for y'all to be together? Just wait patiently. Enjoy the time together as partners. Get to know each other nicely, understand more, so that your marriage life later on will be so smooth and nice and enjoyable. Just remind yourself and your partner, let's keep our relationship pure for God. Lastly, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. As it says in Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23. This verse tells us to guard our heart above everything and anything else. That means we should make it more important. It should be more important than guarding our own body. Guarding your heart means protecting it and not giving it away too easily. That is to keep yourself pure. Okay, earlier we talked about purity before marriage. Now I'm going to talk about purity in marriage. I want to ask you a question. Is it possible to keep a pure marriage? What do you all think? I say yes, you can. A pure marriage starts with a pure thought. Something that you think, your thought of life. It starts from there. As it says in Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 to 28. It says, Jesus says that you have heard the commandment that says, you must not commit adultery. But I say, anyone that looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. It doesn't matter whether a woman looks at a man or a man looks at a woman, but when you look with a lustful look at that person, you already committed adultery. This shows that it is the very thoughtful life which must be kept pure from all sorts of lust that are within our fallen nature. Sex in the context of marriage is something God has meant to be a blessing. But Jesus makes it clear that even entertaining lustful thoughts about someone other than your marriage partner is sin. You can't help seeing or hearing things in the world around you, but the lusts that are awakened by your sense must be dealt with. So whatever that is lustful for you, your thoughts, your mind about a person, when you look at a person with a lustful thing, with lustful seeing at them, it's already a committed sin. So avoid that. when in your marriage. My second point is about fear of God. If you have godly fear in yourself, okay, that will not allow you to be unfaithful, whether it's your thoughts, look, or your actions. In Genesis chapter 39 verse 9, it says, rather than give in to temptation, he fled from her and kept himself pure. This is about the story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife that tries to seduce him. But he refused her and fled from her. How did he do that? The answer lays in what he said to her. How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? That was his answer to flee away from her. So whenever lustful thoughts come to us, or whenever we are attracted by someone and the lustful desire comes, have this question in your mind. Flee away from sin. Have the fear of God in yourself. When you have fear of God in yourself, you will be feared to commit this sin, which leads to adultery. My third point, temptation. Temptation itself is not sin, but it is a test of your faithfulness, and you must rule over the sin in your marriage. This means you must cautiously take up the battle against this temptation, whatever impure thoughts that you have, and cry out to God, asking for help in this situation. Because this temptation can lead you to many errors in your life. God will answer you in your prayer, and He will renew back your strength, so that you will have the conviction in yourself and you'll run to Him back, and He'll free you from that. God is the only person that can free you from this situation, no one else. Because sometimes this temptation leads you to secret sins which no one knows, but only God knows. So in your marriage life, when you have secret sins, that will lead you to unfaithfulness in your marriage. So if you have this type of temptation, immediately run to God. Kneel down, feel convicted of your sin, and ask God forgiveness. He will forgive you. He will renew back your strength from running away to this temptation. He will also work as an inner transformation in you. You will be a new person. You will be renewed to a new person. So this is the way that you should do to have a pure marriage life. Last but not least, my fourth point. Always remember that marriage is instituted by God. God Himself has instituted marriage and regards it so highly that the Bible uses it as a pure marriage to describe it as pure, holy, and perfect relationship between Christ and the church. When you don't have pure marriage in your marriage life, that leads you to infidelity, adultery, suspicious, and lack of trust, also unfaithfulness in your marriage. For both partners, it will cause pain and misery and loss of purity in your marriage if you're not instituted by God. But when you're instituted by God, marriage should be the stronghold of trust, faithfulness, and pure love that will make your marriage life be very pure and very trustworthy among both husband and wife. Let me tell you something before I end this point. God bestows His blessing on us so that we can live a pure, sacred life for God. In our marriages, when you put God in the center of your marriage, it's a pure marriage life. No temptation can destroy it. No adultery can destroy it. But you will have God's blessing always in your marriage. So, dear sisters, if you're listening to this right now, whenever you click into this point, like on this post and subscribe it. I believe that our good Lord has you on His mind and heart. So, purity before marriage and in your marriage, it's not about only virginity, but it's about your heart. God only sees your heart. So you have to guard your heart and let God work on it. Keep your heart pure for God. He loves you and He wants to deposit something to you in His own special and loving way. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. Click on the like button, comment and share. God bless you. Thank you.